College, I had a good career, but at the age of 29, when a relationship broke up, I really went to pieces and tried a drug for the first time, and I never had a clean couple days for the next 30 years. Drugs truly ruled my life. When Kyle mentioned about that, I would wake up and my entire day would be focused on getting drugs. It was absolutely insanity. I worked in between those times, and I can't say the entire 30 years were bad, but it was always somebody struggling over my head. It was only the past couple of years that it really, really got bad. When I was 28, I relocated to Rochester, and my whole goal for doing that was to get away from cocaine. And I moved there thinking I could do it, never hearing about geographical cures don't work. I get to Rochester, within 2 days I find cocaine, and I'm a hardcore addict for the next 7 years. I couldn't take it any longer, my job, I still was doing well with work, they promoted me, I went to Seattle, wanting to get away from cocaine, and I did. The day I got there, I tried crystal meth.
And then he'll come up and do his
Thinking that there was nothing worse than cocaine, let me tell you there is. But like Kyle, I can relate to, I would wake up in the morning with terrible anxiety, and I would run from my feelings. The only time I felt good when I was high. And for a while there, I could get away with it at work. You know, I actually had to give a presentation at Microsoft, and I had to take a break and tell everyone to leave so I could go into the bathroom and smoke meth. In my effort to get away from meth, I tried black tar heroin, and the two of them were just really brought me down. So during this whole period, you know, my life, you know, I never got married. I just destroyed relationships. I went from job to job to job, and it was miserable. You know, I got to a point where I truly thought I didn't want to live anymore, and I never ever associated with the drugs. I just thought I had depression. I never knew that all these drugs in my system were causing me to feel so horrible. But I was hospitalized several times for being suicidal, and never addressing the problem. 1 year ago, but the one thing I want to share is I destroyed a lot. My poor family, my mother. My mom found me overdosed in the bathroom. I'll tell you though, there is a God. My mother is completely deaf. I mean, she's elderly. I was in the basement, and I'd overdosed in the basement. She was on the 3rd floor, and she could hear belabored breathing. And she was she found me. So, I know I'm going all over the place, but
it's okay.
It was a very hard way for me to live, and I really never saw the way out of it. I truly have never seen the way out to a normal life until the past 12 months. My final thing was I overdosed. I went to ECMC a year ago. And a couple things I think, when I tell a story, I really want to focus on the positive, that recovery is so possible. And in many ways we're blessed, because I think I can enjoy life more knowing the hell I went through. And I really did go through hell. I was homeless in Seattle for a period of time. And it's a horrible illness. If anybody out there is young, please, I always in my mind I fantasize, if I ever could go back in time, just don't touch a drug. You know, I just don't touch a drug. When I was a senior in college, before I'd ever touched a drug, the president of the college at a graduation speech said, let's look for leaders like Andy Hornbarger. And with 3 years, I was just a thief, a liar, and just my life was a complete mess. And so I'm very grateful to be here today. But how I've done it, I really wanted it. I think that's one of the top things. I have a life today that is layered with accountability. I do aftercare. I volunteer at Sisters Hospital, and I now am a recovery coach with Save the Michaels. Giving back for me is probably the greatest gift I've had, that it really, really, really helps. I know that people have cancer, there's all these different illnesses, but this is one that you don't need to do. You know, life is filled with hardships, and it breaks my heart when I see a young person I know they're struggling with addiction. I would love to be able to be that addict for them not to do it. So I guess my two big messages are, please don't touch a drug, but if you have, there is hope. Let somebody know. And I know factually that there is hope beyond addiction. Thank you.